everybody? Welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I have an action classic for you. 1995's Rumble in the Bronx. Now, this is a Jackie Chan special. Now, for me, Jackie Chan is one of my all-time favorite, not only action stars, but stars in general. He was huge for me when I was growing up as a kid. I mean, from Rush Hour to obviously Rumble in the Bronx to just a multitude of films that he was in. Even tiny things that weren't great movies, but Jackie was so entertaining in them, like The Tuxedo. Oh my God, if you've ever seen The Tuxedo, then you know Jackie deep cuts. The Tuxedo, that one movie, this really interesting, cool take on some of Chinese of mythology called The Forbidden Kingdom, where he was in it with Jet Li. I think that was a like really fun movie. There are so many things. His take on Mr. Miyagi and, you know, the reboot of The Karate Kid. Jackie Chan is a superstar. I mean, hell, I even loved this animated show that was on back in the day, Jackie Chan Adventures. Now, if you remember that shit, then you're a real one. But I remember these things. Like I do. And Jackie Chan was in. The thing about Jackie Chan, to this day, what makes him solely unique from other martial artists in that kind of a martial arts / kung fu genre, is the comedy aspect that he brought to it. There was a bit of, and there was always this bit of, like, because he was good with the facial expressions, you always got the vibe, at least I did, that for the most part, when he's in a fight sequence, he doesn't want to fight you. He doesn't want to fight you. He's only fighting you because he has to. And you always get that sense with Jackie, like him, how he interacts with the environment, his facial expressions. You really get the sense of him, of a man. Like, you always get the sense that he's doing everything he can. He's whooping everyone's ass. But you always get the sense that it's taking everything he has to do so. And he's super athletic. He really pioneered this, like, Tom Cruise ain't shit in comparison to Jackie Chan and the insane stunts and whatnot that man was willing to do. Like, I mean, there are some crazy stunts. There's a stunt where he jumped off of an escalator onto a pole with lights on it, real lights, not fake lights, and went down the pole and got like electric. Jackie Chan is insane. This man's almost killed himself like a billion times. He's such an expert of his craft. He's such a funny guy too, because like the comedy angle, like I say, there's an angle with Jackie of the comedy angle, and like he plays this everyman so well. Like, I'm pretty sure modern America's like the idea of an Asian man, of a man from China, is probably Jackie Chan, because he was in so many things back in the day, and he was such a lovable guy, still is to this day, still can kick ass. But Jackie Chan is a legend to me. I absolutely love the dude. And Rumble in the Bronx, I would argue, other than like Drunken Monkey, which is another movie I might review at one point, obviously the Rush Hour movie, but other than like Drunken Monkey and the Rush Hour movie, and maybe a little things here and there, this movie to me is like Jackie Chan. First of all, like the short story of it, which is it's just a Jackie Chan vehicle for him to kick people's ass. Like that's how all of those old school 90s action movies were. They were just vehicles for an action star to come in and kick someone's ass. But I digress, 80s and 90s. But I digress. Jackie Chan plays this cop from Hong Kong who comes over to New York for his uncle's wedding. Now, his uncle's been in New York for a while, obviously, moved over here. And, New York's a melting pot. There's a lot of things going on. And his uncle owns this little shop, owns this little, this little bodega, I guess. And, he comes over there just to visit him, just to, for his wedding, to support him. Because it was like a whole thing in the movie where he couldn't believe his uncle was getting married, and he was just he wanted to be there to support him, so he flew all the way out there to do so. But out of nowhere, turns out there are some real hardcore gang violence going on in the area. this biker gang in particular is harassing everyone in the neighborhood, in particular his uncle, and of course Jackie being there is gonna stand up and fight for his uncle, defend himself, figure out a way to get rid of this gang, and that's the short premise of the entire movie. Like, on its surface, that is the premise of the movie. Is he's here just to visit his uncle, and he gets caught up in this whole gang, in this whole thing with this gang, and they start coming after him, and he starts trying to fight them off. And there's a lot of things, there's a small little love interest in there, but overall, it's so prime Jackie. There are so many action set pieces that are just so prime Jackie. There's a sequence where he's just smacking a dude with the refrigerator doors and stuff like that. There's so many comedy bits in this. Now, the movie itself, as a whole, as an action movie, it's a fun-ass action movie. As a movie, leaves a lot to be desired. But this is an action classic. And honestly, like I said, I think this movie, more than any other movie, epitomizes with Jackie Chan at his prime, at his height of his powers, as some people say. I mean, he was at the height of his athleticism, height of his powers. Like, I mean, he was doing some crazy stunts in this movie that were very fun. But like I said, there are some really fun action set pieces in this. Obviously, some of the, like, you seeing him use some of the stuff in the bodega to fight off people, seeing him use, like, it's all fun. It's all fun. And like I said, you get some of the patented Jackie Chan isms of the like I said, his facial expressions are just so amazing to me. And it's so crazy that there are a lot of people like you know, action stars. There were a lot of action people who were alike like other people. But there is no one like Jackie, and there's an angle to Jackie that I always appreciated and loved. Like, and I wish I saw more of it. I wish I saw more of that kind of playfulness of he's a badass, but he doesn't want to fight you. But like, there's like, I don't know how to describe Jackie. Like, it's particularly in this movie, is there's this angle that he's overwhelmed, but he's also still whooping their ass. So you're like, oh, you're like, I hope he's okay. You're like, he's probably gonna be okay, but you know what I mean? There's this sense of danger when he does these, when he's fighting this gang, and when he's, you know, if you've seen a Jackie Chan movie, you know it. There's this weird sense of danger with him where you feel like he could be hurt. You feel like something can happen to him. Nothing is gonna happen to him because of his facial expressions, how he expresses himself, how he uses his body, how he's using every inch of the environment to fight off somebody that you feel like, at least, you know, you feel like he could die at any moment. And there's also this like comedy about it where he's like, my bad, sorry, stop. You know, like there's this like, I love it. I love it. And this movie is all of that. It's really, like I said, at its core, it's really just a Jackie Chan vehicle, just an excuse to have him whooping a bunch of people's asses in incredibly creative, hilarious, badass ways. And in the end, that's all you want out of a Jackie Chan movie. This is a action classic. As a actual action movie, it gets a 9 out of 10. As a movie, probably a 6. It's not that fucking deep. It's not that nuanced. There are certain bits in the movie that doesn't make a lick of sense. I don't want to get into that. But it is worth a watch. If you're a fan of Jackie Chan, if you're a fan of action movies in general, do yourself a favor and check out 1995's Rumble in the Bronx. I have no clue where that would be on, honestly. Most of these things, I have like an idea of where it would be. But yeah, like it's not on anything right now. So, God, man, I don't know what to tell you. It's not on anything right now. I don't know where you would find it. But 1995's Rumble in the Bronx, it's a Jackie Chan classic. It's a dope movie. Or at least if you're here to see Jackie Chan kick ass. Everything else is a bit meh. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.